Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, Earthlings, planet Earth, wherever you are. This is just a quick video because, as usual, there's an expression, there is no rest for the wicked. I must be really bloody wicked. I never stop. And I've got to crack on with some more cleaning in a minute. This is really a video to the sugars. Now, I know a lot of you are going to go, oh, you're wasting your time. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, I've had a lot of incoherent comments that say a lot of very strange things, and I don't really understand them, and they never come back and reply. But I have had a couple of very intelligent people who have come forward. One person, they claim, I never know because I don't know anyone on the internet, but they claim it's a person of colour. And both of these commenters, and I won't name them, but they're in the comments of one of my videos, they've both been very polite, put their points eloquently, and they have sort of come back to me in one manner or another to continue the debate. So I felt they deserve, because I feel it needs to be a balanced argument. It can't just be people who really don't like Meghan like me. That was really my purpose of inviting Christopher Boozy, Sarah Data and Ellie Hall, none of which appear to want to come out. I've been blocked by Christopher Boozy. It's kind of odd that. You all know I hate Twitter. I don't do Twitter. But in order to communicate with Sarah Data, I did set up a Twitter account for the sole purpose of sending her a private message to invite her onto a live. And that's all I used it for. I set it up about 3 days ago. I haven't used it for anything else. I'm not following anyone. I haven't retweeted. I haven't liked, or however it works on Twitter. I don't know how it works. I haven't tweeted. I haven't done anything. I just literally sent Sarah a polite message inviting her to come on a live. And she hasn't blocked me, but she hasn't replied either, and that's that. But interestingly enough, Christopher Boozy blocked me on that account. Now, isn't that interesting? So I guess Sarah Data and Christopher Boozy work together, or at the very least communicate with each other, because it's not really an easy Twitter handle. And there are lots of avid gardeners out there. There are people out there, poor people, who are doing all sorts of things about gardening. They're probably getting attacked thinking, well, what did I do? I'm only into plants. So it's interesting. I mean, does Christopher Boozy block all the gardeners called avid gardener? And there's a lot of them. Or how did he particularly know about that particular Twitter? Anyway, it's beside the point. If that's up to him, if he wants to block me because he's up to secret things or something on Twitter, that's up to him. I'm really not nosing into his private or personal business. But getting back to these guys, now some of them have commented, how could I not like Meghan if I've never met Meghan? I'm going to make tea. I've got to do this one on the run, I really have, because I've got people that are turning up in about 40 minutes. So how could I dislike Meghan without meeting her? Well, she lied on Oprah. She lied. She did not get married 3 days before she got married. That's a fact. The way she said, when she said someone questioned Archie's skin colour, and Oprah said to her, who was having that conversation? I did not like the way Meghan went. She sort of looked off and went, oh, I don't think I'll say, because I think that would be very damaging. Now, trust me, any of you sugars out there who are younger than me, I've met bitches like that. I know exactly what they're like. Oh, I'm sorry, was it something I said? Not nice, not nice. But then there are also supporters of Meghan who've never met Catherine, William, the Queen, and they have plenty to say about them. So I don't think meeting the subject is a qualification for criticism. If that were the case, we wouldn't be able to say anything about President Trump. And believe me, I was a big critic of his in the day. I'm looking on reflection, he wasn't that bad. He didn't press that nuclear button, did he? And that was my biggest fear. President Biden doesn't seem to be all there. I'm a lefty, but I think we had a president like that before. Well, you guys did in America, Ronald Reagan, and it did come out afterwards. The poor guy had, I think he had Alzheimer's, but he remained in office for a couple of years, and his wife was running the country, Nancy. I mean, no one voted for Nancy, and that was Republics. So I don't think that is a good qualification. Loads of people absolutely hate Piers Morgan. I have hated him on occasion. The referendum, for one, he was always sticking up. He voted Remain, but he was always sticking up for Brexit. That made me really angry. But he's a great thought provoker. He's a great, and I haven't met him. And I love Piers sometimes, and I can't stand him others. He's a divisive character. He does it. He's a thought provoker. He's provoking debate to make society better in a way. I know that might sound like an odd thing to liken Piers to, but he is. We actually went to the same school together, but at different times. He's a little older than me. And no, not St Mary's Hall All Girls School, right? That was not a dig. I went to Lewis Priory. After that, no, Piers was not at the All Girls School. So I'm waffling again. Sorry, sugars. Well, firstly, the term sugar, I don't think that's racist at all. That's like because Meghan tends to be over saccharine, over sweet, over... and I think that's where I suppose it is a derogatory term, not a racist term, but derogatory against people who follow her. I've always thought it's for fanatical, sort of really die-hard, fanatical sort of Meghan supporters. But for the sake of a short term, that's how I will refer to you. So I've never met her, but then there's lots of people I haven't met and I have opinions about. If we weren't allowed to have opinions about people we've never met, we'd all be walking around like this. And not saying anything, wouldn't we? So that's a silly, silly thing to say. The other thing is that channels dedicated to hate, single-purpose hate, saying... Some lady said to me that I'm too easily influenced by the Daily Mail and the tabloids. Me, victim of the Daily Mail. Are you kidding me? This is the thing, you're stereotyping us Megxiteers. You're stereotyping us. You're saying we're pale, stale, middle-aged, we're bored housewives, we've got nothing better going on in our lives, and believe me, between the dolphin safari, my old super yacht rotting beneath me, and this bloody house, I've got plenty going on in my life. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to join the debate, but you're stereotyping us. And I suppose that in itself is a form of racism. It's generalising. And there are some stunning people in my subscribers. I mean, they've lived some wild, wild lives. So be careful when you stereotype, because it's a form of prejudice. Not racism, it's a form of prejudice. And then you're actually going to luck out yourself. Because if you go into a combat and you assume your enemy is something and you're judgmental, you're going to lose. When you go into combat, you must know your enemy as well as you possibly can. Not that we're enemies, not that we're going to fight, but you're just very quickly going to look stupid. So just a quick rundown, because all my subscribers already know who I am. I was born Fiona Mary Mont, and I was Britain's Most Wanted Woman from 2000 to 2003. I have no criminal record. It was a witch hunt that the Daily Mail held. I was never actually known as Britain's Most Wanted by the police or the authorities. That was a title given to me by ITV and the Daily Mail. And the police officer that was chasing me, because he won't get his kipper in the papers, he got arrested and thrown out of the police force, and the whole thing was dropped. So that just runs you down, because a lot of people, they find out and they go, oh, she was Britain's Most Wanted, quick dial 999. Yeah, and the other thing is, that's like 20 odd years ago, isn't it? Yeah, 20 odd years ago. So that's where I'm coming from. I've been a victim of being, it doesn't get much worse than that. Bloody hell, it's a lot worse than Meghan, I can tell you, a lot worse. I was public enemy number one, fucking hell, living in a caravan, pregnant, right up a creek with Graham, and, you know, we beat them. We beat the Daily Mail, and we beat the police. We beat them all. Thank God, and what a battle that was. So don't generalise me as I'm a tabloid reader. I'm not a big fan of the Daily Express, actually. I don't like that they write such short articles. I prefer the Daily Mail because they do longer articles with more substance. And yes, I do read the Daily Mail because I got over it. I let it go. What's the point in me being angry at a multinational newspaper for the rest of my life? You think that's going to affect them? They won't give a fuck. Me, that would affect my life. And that's one of Meghan's problems. She can't let it drop, can she? She's got to get her truth out there again and again and again and again. How many books Meghan misunderstood? Finding Freedom. I understand. There's another, you little bloody... Oh, flies. There's another book coming out by Omid Scobie. I don't know what it's going to be called. Finding Freedom, Freedom? Or Finding Freedom, Freedom? Or Finding Freedom Part 2? I mean, who are they finding freedom from now? He already wrote that book. They left. Were they going to run away from themselves? Talking of Omid, I think he's been Markled a little bit. Never mind all this about a book. I see yesterday Ellie Hall tweeting she was informed by a member of the Sussex team from Meghan's people that Meghan would be having a quiet birthday with family and friends and her children, and that no photograph would be released. Well, that's all pretty specific. She's got a hotline, hasn't she, to Montecito? Oh, the mist clears. The same journalist who's gone out of her way. That's a little close, don't you think? Between Meghan and Yankee Wally, that's only one person between them. Ooh, that's like a hotline, isn't it? Bat phone. Get rid of that YouTuber. What favour's called in there? Be warned, whoever you are working at YouTube. Be warned, your days are numbered. Anyway, Omid, he just said happy birthday. No one had told him anything, so that's kind of interesting. Oh, what a little twist that is. Anyway, so sugars, we're not all monsters. We're not, well, none of us are monsters, actually. You might get the odd monster on the internet. They're called trolls, and you get them on both sides, and you just take no notice. But another thing that one of these sugars said was, why can't I shut up about it? You know, it doesn't need to be debated. Well, I disagree. I think it does. One of the reasons that I ended up being on the run was because of a compulsive liar. I don't like people who tell lies. I mean, massive lies. There's a big difference between lying, telling a little white lie so you don't hurt someone's feelings. There's a difference between, oh, crikey, I might be in the shit, I'll just leave that bit out kind of lie, and telling lies that deliberately drop someone else in the shit and cause them great pain, which is what Meghan did. I don't believe her for a second about the racism. I'm sorry, I don't. I've seen, it's hammy acting at best. I'm 51, I've seen a trick or two in my time. All right, I could be wrong. And I'm not expecting anybody to take my word as gospel, and I never have said that, because another sugar said that this morning, that in a very nice way, but she said, why do I expect everybody to believe? Well, I don't. That's rather the point of a live debate. You know, come, and maybe one of these lovely commenters, and they are lovely, they're very polite, and you won't be attacked by my subscribers. If you're attacked, that's not our team. Believe me, not on my channel. She did say she'd seen someone made a comment about Straight Outta Compton. I don't think so. I read all the comments and I haven't seen anything of the sort. So maybe she read that on someone else's channel. And you know, when you're reading a lot of channels, she's misunderstood. My God, it's so hot here. It's just so steamy today. August is the worst month. Anyway, that's my food for thought for the day. I've got to go. And some lady sent me some jewellery. So I'm quite excited it arrived, and Graham's going to bring that home tonight, so I will show you that. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you later.